Welcome to the CX Live Dialogues. I'm delighted to have with us today Pedro Andrade. Pedro is the Vice President of AI and Digital Channels at Talkdesk, wherein he oversees a suite of AI-driven products aimed at optimizing contact center operation and, of course, enhancing customer experience. Possessing a fervent interest in the influence of AI and digital technologies in the market, Pedro is particularly keen on exploring the potential of generative AI as a source of innovative solutions for the contact center industry. Welcome, Pedro. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Hi, hello, hi, Yusha. My pleasure being here today. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a really great pleasure sharing with you this time together.
Likewise. Now, Pedro, obviously, we're in the midst of, I would say, quite agile changes in the contact center and the CX space, with many organizations now leveraging predictive analytics to foresee and fulfill customer needs. Could you share some best practices that have emerged from these implementations?
Sure. So when you talk about predictive analytics, it's all about understanding your customer better. And to do that, one of the most important things when you look at everything that is around a customer in the whole journey, there's a bunch of data that you need to be able to collect. And this is the most important thing. And when you ask me about what are the best practices, here's what I recommend always. No matter what is the tool that you are going to use in terms of extracting those insights and the type of AI that you are going to use, there are a lot of solutions out there to do that. But the most important thing is the quality of the data. So if you want to have great outcomes and great predictive analytics, good insights, always care about the data. Always try to create a culture of analyzing and keeping the data. Make sure that every movement from a customer, from the moment he gets into a store or gets into a website or chats with you or calls in the contact center, make sure you to create a culture of logging that data so you can really use it to really know your customer. Then you can use that data in many, many different applications out there, but the data is yours. The data is from the customer, and that's the most precious asset that you have. It's not the technology. It's all about the data.
Very true. And of course, as technology evolves and companies continue to adopt it, how can organizations strike a balance between adopting this cutting edge technology innovation and maintaining a consistent brand voice and, of course, reliable customer experience?
So that's a great question, because if you take a look around, especially in recent months about generative AI, there's a bit of a craziness on getting this technology and do things with it. And sometimes it's just too much. It's just using technology for the sake of technology. And sometimes it goes beyond what the consumers are ready to consume or are expecting to consume. So the way I see this cutting edge innovation and the balance is guarantee that that you introduce the technology in the pace that you can really handle it and your customers can handle it. So you don't lose your your brand, your voice. And to do that, the best recommendation I can give is make sure that you start by using all that technology on your back office. And believe me, there's a lot of improvements that you can do in your back office before you start exposing your customers into those changes. So guarantee that first you are ready as a company, and by bringing your agents, your staff ready to use and use artificial intelligence and technology to improve their operational efficiency. And after that, you start exposing gradually your customers into that technology. If you do that right and do it in this order, then you will learn how to use this technology without losing your brand. So on what I'm saying is, don't start by exposing AI agents and artificial intelligence directly, immediately into your customers. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand how you are going to gradually change the behavior of your company and also educate your customers how to use this. So start on your own stuff, start with on your inside your own company, and then optimize that operation, and then start gradually exposing your customers to it. That is going to be my recommendation. That is what I would say, that this is how you keep your brand, but optimize it, and with an additional, and improve it, because if you do this on your back office, you will learn more about your customer, you will understand better what is his desires, and you will actually amplify your brand.
I think that's a wonderful piece of advice. And of course, with the complexity with which we are embracing I guess it is really very important for organizations to be aware of how that reaction would come from their customers. Would you be able to give us a real world example of how and where you've introduced AI into a business, and what were the real world gains?
Absolutely. Let me give you an example of several customers that, especially on contact center, which usually is seen at that place, usually bad experience happens. And Talkdesk is here to change that perspective. And let me give a concrete example of a real world change where artificial intelligence could really play the difference. By using assistance powered by artificial intelligence on the agents, we are seeing a constant and delivery of the same benefit. Around 25% of the time that it takes to answer a question in a conversation, in a call, is reduced in those around 25%. So imagine that you can shave around 1/4 of the time that usually takes to answer a question by 1/4. And what's the benefit of that? It's not just about economics. It's not just about the fact that you can save 25% of the time, so your agents can pick up more calls. That's not the only gain. The fact is, when you reduce that time, you also increase the experience of your agents. And why? Because the agent was able to get an AI assistance to answer those questions. It was able to take the information immediately to answer those questions. You didn't get into that experience about, can you please wait the line for a second while I get that data for you? Because actually that doesn't exist anymore, because AI was able to pull that data immediately in front of the agent's eyes. So it immediately responded to the question or to the problem, and fixing the problem immediately. So it's a double gain here. It's a savings in terms of operational efficiency and the time that agents take, but as well a fantastic gain and experience from the person that is calling, that gets the faster response and the most accurate response to these questions.
Certainly. What's next for AI in the contact center, and how do you think the modern contact center will continue to evolve?
That's a great question. If I had $1 every time I get this question, I can retire myself today. So that's a really interesting one, and maybe there are multiple answers to that. But here's the way I think and how I see the future of the contact centers. It's all about hyper-personalization. And about hyper-personalization means that there are things that we need to change. There's no reason why you should call to a contact center and the first thing that you hear is, "Welcome to company X. How may I help you today?" Because I believe that the moment that I call to that company, they should know already who I am and why I'm calling about. So what I expect in the near future is that when I call in, I am received with, "Hello, Pedro. I believe that you are calling because of this. Is that correct? In the meantime, we were able to fix that." And that will be a fantastic experience. And if you want to push it a little bit further, what I expect is that I don't even need to call, because the contact center become not an inbound system, but actually a proactive system. And instead of calling, maybe I receive on my cell phone a notification saying, oh, Pedro, we noticed that something going on your network. In the meantime, we were able to, if you didn't realize that, that's okay, but we found it and we now fix that. So if you found any issues, now they are solved. That will be a fantastic experience. Is the contact center that doesn't exist because I don't need to call it because it's proactively reaching me. But it's the same thing, right? It's all about answering questions, solving problems, but we need to change from where we are into this future. And I believe that is all about knowing your customer, deeply knowing your customer. We need to know our customers better than Netflix knows what I want to see today night.
Definitely. Thank you, Pedro. It's been a pleasure to have you join us today. And of course, we look forward to meeting you and the Talkdesk team at the Customer Experience Live show in London in October. Until then, stay safe.
Thank you so much. I'll be there. I'll meet you there. Thank you.
Thank you.